Hello, I'm in front of a weirdly lit wall. I hope you are well too. So, this is the Christmas update Q&A video thingamajiggy. Designed to go out on Christmas Eve, but I got really ill on Christmas Eve and was ill all over Christmas and New Year. I hope your Christmas was better, because mine was rubbish. Bloody viruses. Anyway, it's happening now, so I shall be answering your questions from Curious Cat, the question service. Oh, brief update first. As you probably know by now, we've cancelled the film and we'll be replacing it with a 12-minute documentary on the Norwegian leather industry. So I know that's what a lot of you wanted anyway, so we've just leaned into it. Not really. Yeah, visually, everything in the film's pretty much there, actually. In fact, I'm pretty sure that what we have now visually is what you will see in the finished film. Everything's in place, all the effects, every little bit of it, all the colour grading, everything's. So now it's sorting out the credits and the intro sequence, quite important, obviously. And also, then it's the sound, actually, which is the other big thing. We were having trouble booking in the sound design, but that's all going now. So that's great. That's a load off. So that's happening. We've got the score going on. So sound design, musical score, sound mix brings them together. Then we've got ourselves a bloody film. Then you can watch it using your eyes and ears, which is a recommended method. So that's good really. It's all coming along, all jittering along nicely. Yeah, I'm not going to even attempt some kind of release date, even tentatively, just in case something goes hideously awry. And it probably won't, unless I mention a date, then it will actually, so we won't do that. But yeah, it's looking positive, guys. And yeah, really happy with how the film's come out, which is, let's face it, kind of the main thing, because you want something good at the end of the day. We're still laughing after a million times watching it in the edit. Well, I've only watched it a human countable amount of times, whereas director Riyadh and editor Linton have watched it so many times now they have to send off to NASA to find out how many. And if they're still smiling at it, it's got to be a good sign. Surely. Right, questions, and yet also answers. Anon asked, I'm not going to say that because they're all anon. That was easy, wasn't it? Right, first question. Who would you have loved to get involved with the film, but couldn't because of evil logistics? An awful lot of people, actually. I mean, we've done very well at the end of the day, which is the main thing, once again. But, yeah, logistically, this was difficult. There were some people we really wanted on board, even just for tiny wee cameos now that we just couldn't work in, which is always a bit of a shame. But we have other people, so, you know, it's not like we've entirely missed out or anything. We've still got everything positive. Yeah, we've done very well at the end of the day. Is there anyone specific? I don't know. We really wanted Robert Llewellyn, and he's in it. So that kind of happened, so that's all good, really. There was somebody we'd started to talk to, and they died. That was very sad for obvious reasons, but also, yeah, they definitely couldn't be in it. Now, do you know what? All the major things are in place, actually. It's just some of the cameos switched around, really, which is very bloody minor in the scheme of things. Right. What has been your favourite part of creating Polybius and why? I like seeing it all come together. That's what I like. I like the whole sort of collaborative process and things. Because for me, YouTube is obviously a very personal thing, because I'm the only one doing it. So it's really nice to do these group projects where you're not entirely sure what you're going to end up with in the same way, because other people chip in good ideas. Oh, that's brilliant, let's do that. Oh, yes, blah, 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 blah. And it all works together to elevate the whole thing. That's what I like, a bit of collaboration. Would you make any improvements on the film? And if so, why? I don't know, it's not out yet, so it's hard to say. I don't know, the problem with being a filmmaker is you always look at these things and go, oh, I wish I had another £1 million to get this shot, you know. But the fact of it is, it looks good, and it's going to sound good, and it's funny, and the story works and everything, and like, that's what you want, really, isn't it? I suppose there's always little things we'll notice, like, oh, if I'd had a bit more time, we could have lit that slightly differently or something, or, oh, wouldn't it have been great to have had a different location for this bit or something, but it's all very minor. It's all very minor. We wrote to how much money we knew we had, so this isn't a massive thing, really. Question for Riyadh. I hope it's one I can answer. Yes, it is. Hooray! As a director, do you have complete control over the movie? I.e., can you ask the composer to change a track or redo it? And do you have to OK VFX designs or ask them to tweak certain aspects? to tweak certain aspects, not tweet certain aspects. Quickly, get a picture of that makeup up on Twitter. Basically, yes. Riyadh, as the director, is the head honcho and the big cheese and all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, the way it sometimes will work in Hollywood is you have that kind of weird, overarching, dreaded producer who can come in and go, I want you to change that. Remove Will Smith's hat and replace it with a cormorant, or, you know, whatever these producers seem to do. We have none of that. I mean, the big three producers on this are me, Riyadh, and editor Linton. So we're very much all on the same page, to say the least. But yeah, Riyadh does basically... Not only does he have complete control, he has to have complete control because he's the one who has to sign everything off, because he's got every aspect of it in his head in exact detail in a way I can begin to fathom but couldn't do, frankly. Just all the minutiae of it everywhere. So it isn't just a case of him asking the composer to change a track. He's the one who has to ask for it, then listen to it. I mean, he's not the only person who does it, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's his decision and his sign-off to make sure everything's working, everything's right. Down to the smallest details. So, like, the earrings the extras are wearing, they have to be shown to Riyadh, and he goes, yeah, that's fine, or oh no, because of this, that, and the other, or whatever, and change it. So yes, he is the top of the chain in such things, as the director probably should be, really. I mean, maybe it's different if it's something like a big franchise like Star Wars, where you've got this more sort of holistic thing, where you've got Star Wars as an entity of its own right, and, you know, oh, you can't do too much of this and too much of that, and it's got to feel like a Star Wars film. Because that kind of happened with Solo, didn't it? They had to go back and edit a lot because it felt kind of not Star Warsy, you know, and all that kind of stuff. We don't have anything like that. This is our film, so it's much easier. What gear, camera, lenses, mics were used in filming? Yes, a lot of radio mics, various lenses I don't understand, boom mics, all the mics you can possibly think of. Camera was an Arri Alexa. I couldn't tell you which one. It's one of the ones that films in 4K, obviously, because we filmed it in 4K. But other than that, I can't. Yeah. Tell you what, I'll find out what camera we filmed it on, and then I'll flash a graphic across. How's that? Because I don't know the particular model of it. And if I can't find out, there won't be a graphic, and everyone will be disappointed. Sorry. Next up. What was the big bad thing? I really want to know. Do you really? Ugh. Big bad thing, kind of ongoing, but we've managed to excise its influence from the film, which is the important thing. So now, I mean, previously, like, we had a version of the film where if we watched it, we'd be like, oh, there's something in this which reminds us of the thing. You wouldn't know if you didn't know what it was and weren't basically one of three different people. But it's completely gone, and now it will not affect us at all. Thank God for that. Next up. Do you have a favourite callback, stroke cameo, stroke reference in this film? And without spoilers, can you tell us what it is? We integrate references into the script and plot quite heavily, so it's hard to say one without spoiling. I did at one stage have an entire line of dialogue taken from the 1930s Frankenstein film spoken by one of the characters. I kind of wrote that knowing this is too long, this isn't going to end up in the edit. We did shoot it, but yeah, it doesn't end up in it. There's always a lot of good references. Me and Riyadh need to go to References Anonymous. I think we do like our references to other films. My favourite one actually is one of Riyadh's. There's a reference to aliens in there, and I really wanted a reference to aliens in, and by the time we got there was already one, and I didn't have to write it because there's a good one already in there. I do like aliens. Next up, planning to do any screenings in Ireland after the film is released. Don't know how the screen is going to work as yet, so it'd be nice to go over to Ireland and do one. It'd be nice to get one done in Wales. We don't go to Wales, which hopefully should be able to get one in Edinburgh, but I don't know. It's early days as yet. There will be several theatrical showings of it, but whereabouts, I don't know. Well, there will definitely be one in London, obviously. Definitely be one in Norwich for obvious reasons. And I would be very surprised if there isn't one in Bristol, but I can't say anything beyond that because we just don't know. Next up, when do we plan to hear the roll call of excellence? I'm waiting on that, just in case some more people come in at the end and have a name added. But then again, I'm not sure I will add their name to it. So, also, I'm not sure how to do it this time. I was going to do something slightly different with it, but then I thought about it and I thought it was a bit crap, so I might not. Anyway, at some point, just before the film comes out, actually. That's probably a good time to do it. Did you manage to re-record those scenes that needed re-recording? Yes. If so, how did it go? Well, yep, as I touched on earlier, yeah, we re-recorded scenes on the pickup day that needed re-recording, and that was that was the pickup day of the gods, it really was. We somehow reshot scenes, got all the pickups we wanted, and did some extra stuff, and finished on time. It's just, I don't quite know how that happened. I can only assume magical time dilation or something. But yeah, all went very well. Another bit, we were like, I'd like to re-record this. Managed to do it with visual effects in the end. Really, really effectively. Hats off to Mr. Linton for that one. Hi there, my name is Janie. Hello, Janie. And I have been following your work for bloody ages. Good for you. Have you any plans for a third movie? Oh, let's finish the second one first. We've got a very rough idea of a direction we'd like to push it in. That's about it, to be honest. It's just, yeah, there's no point putting much thought or effort into a third one until you've done the second, really, and made sure this is done all right, so you can actually do a third. Also, does it strike you as odd that so many people seem so attached to your old brown sofa? Yes. Have you considered shifting your career into politics? No. That was a quick answer. With your background in understanding the need to shop in Poundland, your policies could be considerably more sensible than those currently being put forward by some of the less scrupulous members of the political elite. Yes, Poundland is the glorious future we all need. I assume many will ask, but they seem most obvious, so a few questions. That have not, or a few FAQ that have not been very FA. That works. What have been your most memorable parts of this process? What's been the most fun? What's been the most challenging? What went well? What got messed up? What are all the mosts? Blimey. Most fun, it's always filming certain scenes and bits. What was the most fun scene? I assumed the most fun scene was going to be the rooftop scene, which I cannot describe in any more detail without spoiling, but it wasn't, because it was pissing cold and raining, like really cold and rainy. So that was considerably less fun than I assumed. I'm trying to think of bits that were really fun to do. Oh, I do enjoy the sort of acty filmy bit, so most of it really. I think actually it was when all the heist crew was together, because there's a lot of talented people in there, and there's a lot of clever little bits added and stuff going on. Yeah, those were my favourite scenes actually, definitely. Like in the heist warehouse, which is where the crew get together to plan and do all the heisty stuff. What was the next one? What's been the greatest challenge? A lot of logistical challenges on the shoot, as we touched on earlier there, with getting people in on certain days. Like, that was very difficult. We got there, obviously, because the film's been made, but yes, stellar work by some of the production team there. Actually, the greatest challenge was the bad thing, actually. Yeah, but the production team entirely sorted that out, so yeah. And then we did the rest of it later. What went well? What almost? How did making the Polybius heist compare to the quest for the game child? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was more difficult actually. I don't think intrinsically more difficult. So we've had a lot of locations and things on Game Child. It was just that there were some problems we had to deal with that were quite major at the time. So it's all a bit of a worry. You're like, oh, I've got to fix this. We'll fix it now. Phew, deep breath. What extra lessons have you learned that you'll take forward in your filmmaking career? Nothing. I never learn a thing because my memory's broken. No, not really. Riyadh would give a much better answer to that, but I suppose it's... Yeah, I mean, that's a really hard one to answer, actually, because I feel like we knew quite a lot of this off the back of Game Child. I mean, really, the tricks are write to what you know you can make and put lots of funny jokes in. There we are. I suppose the one thing, actually, I would take away from this is... when we're scripting, make doubly sure. There was like a scene we filmed that when it was filmed, it's like, this is never actually going to fit in the work in the film because of this, that. And I wish I'd spotted that on paper. It's one of those things where it seemed quite technical, and it's like, oh, I see, it's doing this, this, and this. Right, we should make sure we've got that, and then we've got it, and like, actually, we could have saved like a few hours by not doing that, maybe. But I don't know, it's hard. I mean, every film massively overshoots. You ever seen a Blu-ray or a DVD with all the deleted scenes on? You will know this. But yeah, there was one scene I honestly thought like, should have come up and spotted that earlier. But I didn't. There we are. So maybe next time I'll be far more careful. Go, do we really need the scene? Really need the scene? And then pull it back too far and not have enough coverage. No, that's bad. And is there an Action 3 on the horizon? We did that one. What's your favourite? Green Ranger who played a flute through a solid helmet, or White Ranger who owned a flying sword that could never cut anything except with eye lasers? I don't know enough about Power Rangers to give an answer to that, but if you can play a flute through a solid helmet, that's pretty good. Right. In your recent Polybius Heist update, you mentioned that the score would not consist of you humming the theme to RoboCop. This is deeply disheartening, and I was hoping you could perhaps reconsider. Would you be able to offer this as an alternative on the DVD? Sadly not. We cannot afford to license the music from RoboCop, so it cannot be done. We can't ring up Basil Palladorus, was it? Yeah, same guy who did the music for Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer, I think. Ring him up and say, mate, can I use your stuff for free? Because he'd probably say, it's not my decision. It's like owned by the film studio. That's how this works. If there was an obligatory 80s, 90s style mediocre platform game to accompany the release of the movie, who would develop it and who would publish it? It'd be either Titus or Tiertex, probably. Now, this for this kind of film, you see, Game Child would have been a platform game. This one would be a point-and-click adventure. It's Chai. Hello, Chai. I have a bottle of Advocar. Oh, yes, you've already sent me this. Thank you, Chai. Chai has sent me a 20-year-old out-of-date bottle of Advocar. It's going to be a taste sensation. The botulism. Will Polybius have its own DVD and Blu-ray release outside of just the perks of the Game Child? Yes, almost 100% certainly, because that's part of the sort of release thing. We will get it out to people in some way, shape or form. Well, sold through like Amazon is the obvious one, isn't it? Do you have a rough idea of when the film will be released and subsequently TATFest 2020? I'm saying nothing on this just in case it all goes awry, but yeah, TATFest. See, there's two methods of thinking on this. One is that we do it around the release of the film and have like a screening of it, possibly even slightly before or sort of on release. Another one is we could actually do something better if we did it a bit later. Because the more I'm thinking about TATFest, the more I'm thinking it needs to be like a sort of proper event, and not just a few of us meeting up to arse around. You know, maybe we can charge people who didn't back the film to come in and things like that, and then use the money to, you know, promote the film and that. I don't know. We'll have a think on this. This person asks, as they're now having several eye surgeries in early 2020, I'm hoping they work out. Cool, me too, mate. And I'll be able to see again in time for the birth. I am afraid to say we will actually have somebody on the door checking for people who have recently had eye surgery and refusing them entry, purely out of spite. So sorry about that. Who is the most famous, in terms of subs, YouTuber in the film? Dan Nerd Cubed. Easily. Yeah, Mr. Weeble's in there as well. There's several people, but definitely, especially out of the main actors, Dan Nerd Cubed, absolutely. Also, have you got any non-YouTube related celebrities playing a cameo role, such as Warwick Davis in the last film? I'm not going to say, spoilers. Is there a reference or Easter egg you're most proud of seeing in film? We have actually answered that. Can we look forward to another animated sequence in the Polybius Heist? No. Because it wouldn't. Due to the way heist films have to be more sort of integrated and running, it'd be really hard to just sort of, I'm going to stop this for a bit now and have the amusing thing, whereas Game Child sort of road movie thing was more episodic, so you can get away with it more. Plus, they're really expensive. No is the short answer to that. There'll be an animated intro. But no, not an actual animated sequence in the film. How many times does Eli's character shout a single word out without context in the film? Once. I think he does once. Yes. And it's kind of vaguely contextual, actually. It's not entirely without context, just mostly without context. How long will the movie be? Ooh, I can tell you almost exactly. It just depends on how long the credits take and the intro, really. It's... I'm going to say, yeah, about between 1 hour 40 and 1 hour 45, that kind of thing. So a bit longer than Game Child, but not crazy long, like these modern films, which just last forever. What happened when they used to make short films in the early days, like Gone with the Wind? Oh. And finally, your Indiegogo campaign ended. True dat. Where can I buy and watch the movie on release? Don't know yet. How will you stream it? On which site? Well, we're hoping to get it up on all the major ones. I mean, you need it on iTunes, Google Play and Amazon Video on Demand. Really, they're the big three. I mean, there are other ones like the Sony's PlayStation Store and the Xbox Shop or whatever and all that kind of stuff. But I believe they're all very small potatoes, and those three have all the majors. So we will attempt to get it on all of those. But I'm making no promises of anything at any stage, just in case. But it should be fine. Yes, marvellous. Right, thank you very much. I'm going to go off and edit this and then write some text to accompany it. Incidentally, if you are waiting for wallpaper bits or sofa bits, this is a sofa bit, they will be coming shortly because I've got them all done and I've now got the correct boxes to send them in. I'm going to be honest with you, I got some new postal boxes and they weren't up to it, so I had to buy the old ones again. I can't have these shipped like from here to America and they arrive cracked or something. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. So I've been a bit paranoid on that. Yeah, trying to save some money, ended up spending more money. Hooray! Such is life. But I think it's worth it if they actually get there in one piece. But yeah, I'll be sending those out over the next couple of weeks. Not early next week because Barry's here, possibly mid next week. So expect them sometime in February, I suppose. Yeah, marvellous. Oh, and anyone who signed up for the cook along with Barry, I shall be in touch on that very shortly because we're going to sort that out over the weekend. Anyway, I'm going now. Bye!